So we need to prepare. And very interesting that if you hear what health is all about, you will see that we need healthy plants first so that we can manufacture healthy medicine. To be sure that you've got healthy plants, you need healthy soil first. So from healthy soil, you can ensure that you will have healthy plants, and with healthy plants, you can ensure that you will have healthy people and also a healthy community. And to summarize everything, we can go to our wonderful acronym, New Start. So if we go to the N, nutrients or nitrogen, you can see that it is important to ensure that the N, which is your nutrients, is healthy and safe. So just to bear in mind. And then the E for exercise. So it's very important to have the exercise, but we can add also some other stuff here, like, is it empowering people? What we are doing in the project, are we empowering people? And even earthworms is part of the system, where we use earthworms as God's creation to aerate the soil. So it's very important. So if you go through your checklist, if we went through this whole course, you can be sure that everything is exactly like New Start principles. In other words, are we doing the necessary exercising during the project? Is there earthworm friendliness? And if we go to the water, is the water being worked consciously with? And is it pure water? And are you sure you're not overwatering plants? So it's very important to make sure that that is also in place. Then we're going to the sunshine. Is sun good for plants? How do you think? It's very important for photosynthesis. But if there is too much sun, you can scorch the plants. So you need to take that also in consideration when you're planning your system, your ecotechnology system. Good. And then temperance. There again, we can't overwater or over-fertilize. So we must be sure that specific category is in place so that you're not overwater or over-fertilize. Air, very important. You know, soil also needs air. 25% of soil must be air component. So there again, earthworm friendliness. If your system is earthworm friendly, you know that the end results will be perfect, because then you know that the soil is healthy. If there's no earthworms in the soil, that soil is not healthy. So when we're doing our research on soil, the first indicator is earthworms. If the earthworms are doing well, you know that the ecolife in that soil is in good condition. So there you are, the aeration there, and then the R for rest or recreation or recycle. So through the system, we need to make sure that we recycle. You know, all your kitchen waste and all your vegetable cuttings and so forth, we need to recycle to make compost so that you can restart your system when it's needed. And then the most important is trust in our Creator God. You know, you can do everything, but can you germinate a seed? No ways. So when you do your part, then God will take over. This is the autopilot stuff that happens after that. If you done your part, God will take over and He will autopilot the whole project for you. So this is just the main things there. And to summarize then the nutrients that we need, we've got our macro elements, which is the most important of soil. So here, nitrogen, very important. That will give you your vegetative growth. Your green in the plant, your chlorophyll, is stimulated by nitrogen. So when we started to do our organic fertilization, we need to make sure that N, nitrogen, is organically done perfectly. And then you need to make your choice to have a nitrogen fertilizer, which is organic and no chemical interference. Because we're destroying our soil. Because we know that if we've got a healthy soil, then we can survive. But if the soil is polluted with chemicals, then it will be no success story. Because at the long term, it will be a disaster. Most of our soils around our commercial farming areas is now so polluted that it's dead. There's no ecolife in there anymore because of the chemical interference all the time. So we need to steer away from that and rather use the nature that God gives us to ensure that we're not working against nature, but with nature all the time. So this is nitrogen, vegetative growth. Then we're coming to our phosphorus. This is for root growth. So root growth, phosphorus, very, very important. So with there again, we need to make sure that we've got the right organic phosphorus fertilizer to ensure good root growth. So this is very important. And then the K for potassium. There we can use, ash. Any ash, firewood ash is good organic potassium fertilizer. So if you have that in mind when you start your organic program, then you are on the right track. Good. So therefore we developed a piece of ecotechnology so that we can be sure. This summarized organic farming method that you see here, New Start principles as key. We use that when we develop this wonderful ecotechnology. So this piece of ecotechnology, we call it the Permadome. So tomorrow we will do the practical, where we can check how this Permadome is working and why we're saying that this is ecotechnology that has a success story all the time. On Sunday, yes, correct. So let I just get this thing on a go. Okay, this is the contents that we're going to look into. What is the benefits? Why Permadome? Why we're doing what we are doing? Importance of heirloom seeds. Very important to know that. The self-employment, we know that we need knowledge to be self-employed. So that was also one of the points that we considered And then success story, you will see the success stories with this eco-technology, and the award receipts and wheat stop mat and the conclusion there. Okay, you can see there it's a portable agricultural device which is reduce common risk factors for successful cultivation and propagation. So you can do both. You can do cultivation, propagation, and there's even other agricultural activities like aquaculture and apiculture, and there's a few other cultures that you also can do with this system. But we will come on that detail a bit later. Okay, you can see there where the in-between areas there, we utilize that for any other farming activities. For instance, like chickens that you can room in between, small stock. There's so many other animals that you can also room in between this. So that areas in between the different permaculture systems is very, very key, so that that is also in good condition. You can see, I saw you've also got some ducks, wonderful, in between there. You know, there you ensure that there's no snails, other animals like goats, sheep, and you know any living stock you can utilize in between this permadose. So that symbiotic relationship between plants and livestock is so important. And then we also look into the recycling again. So recycling, so the manure of the sheep or any manure from any living animal, poultry, all that manure is going to your earthworm cultivation unit, where you use that then as also a fertilizer. You see it's even protected there. So I don't know how the storm will be, but maybe you need dogs to protect your vegetables. So that is also user-friendly, pet-friendly. Yeah, yeah, because it's designed to work with nature and not against nature. So here you can see we've got protection, very important, the protection there. Here we've got a video supposed to go. There you can see. But what you can see is that there's monkeys trying to enter the permadome there. And at the end, they ran away because it was not possible. Yeah, so that's a good help, and not coming in with a shotgun and shoot every animal around you. So with this system, it's not necessary. You can see you can pre-pack, it's portable. We brought this system here outside with a bakkie without problems through all this dirt roads and difficult roads, and it survived, and you can assemble and disassemble whenever you want to. And you can see it's very user-friendly for all, even accessible for wheelchair users. So even people with disabilities, it is really easy to still work, because they also want to be part of this program. And that's why it's also good for them, and it's very therapeutically also for people, actually for everybody. Okay, you can see there's no insects that can go in there. It's it's insect proof, so no insects can go in there. So there again, you not need then the pesticides that are actually a big problem in our environment. So, but if we need to use any pesticides, we will do organic pesticides. There's many recipes how we can do that. You can see how the system is working, different irrigation systems that we are doing, and there's no hail interference also. So no hail will destroy your crop at all. And there you can see we've got 3 different irrigation systems. It's a flood irrigation system because some plants, they not want overhead irrigation. So, but you can put even all 3 irrigation in one unit so that you can ensure that you will have that specific species development that you need. Okay, there's the drip irrigation, and you can see this thing is running now. But you can see the end results there. It's just unbelievable, the optimum plant growth. And the good thing is that it's export potential that you see there, but it's organic. You know, people out there they've got pest spraying schedules for weeks on end. You know, some people are spraying in the commercial field. Some of them are spraying like 7 times every day. Actually, they spray something. But with this system, it's not necessary. And you know, that end results that you saw there is definitely without any chemical interference. There was no chemical interference at all. And that I can promise you. It's really amazing. You can see there just that the end produce there is just unbelievable. And in this instances, there was no spray, nothing being done at all. There you can see the projects, how it is done, and it's really amazing the harvest that is being obtained from the perma dome system there. You can see this is all of it is just you know this is a success recipe to be ensured that the end produce is always like that. Yeah, the sizes is just amazing. Because you went through this New Start principles. Unbelievable. And if you do exactly, if you use that as a checklist all the time, you can be sure that the end produce is always, export potential. Okay, this is some churches that we did, Philadelphia church. You can see the edible flowers around there. Amazing how, here at Low, Joe Lelo, they do also edible flowers. There's a big export market for edible flowers, but it's also aesthetically looking very good. Okay, there's a project at Mama Forbedu in Pieterstein, you know, that in the northeast Free State. Very cold, very harsh conditions, but the end produce is just amazing. And this is just some of the rewards that we won on the system, water saving. And then we've got this weed stop mat for ultimate weed control. Unfortunately, this thing is going now. But we will do that, the weed stop mat, we will do it in tomorrow, or rather Sunday. And there you can see tomorrow is Saturday, so tomorrow is Sabbath. So there you can see, this is the harvesting of garlic, everything organic. No spray is being used, pesticides is being used at any time from plant up to harvest time. So it is really a win-win. You are welcome to ask questions also in the meantime. Is there any questions? Yes? Yeah, very good question. Look, when you start, you do it multiple. I mean, in other words, if you want to start, say, small and later grow bigger. But you've got like a mother line of polyethylene pipe, and then you go left, right, to have a network of permaderms. So you can grow from one infinitum. There is no stop. Maybe I can just tell you that in 100 square meter, you can put 16 permaderms, which means in 1 hectare, you can do 1,600 permaderms. And you can have, a wonderful irrigation system that work in stations. So you run a whole. We worked out a proper irrigation program also that can do 20 permaderms per session, and so forth. So it is possible. So you design a proper irrigation system around it. Yes. 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 Yeah, let I show you. It allows water through. It's got a hole. It's got a hole like this. And then there's cuts like this. So when the water is coming from overhead, then the water is oozing in here from the mat in here. So when you plant here, this is flapping open. So you flap it open, and then you plant, you do your seedling in there, and then it runs beautifully. And the weeds will not come through here because it's closing again. So when you open up, you plant and you do, and then you fold back. And you can, be sure that there will be no weed growth at all. So that is also amazing because weeds can take all your nutrients on the one side and also water on the other side, so and so forth. So all your time that you can rather spend on harvesting and get your all your vegetables packed and so forth, and not sitting with weeding all the time. So it's more focused.
So the water then just enters through that hole.
Exactly. So not the mat itself. So the water is coming when the drops are coming here. It filters in there. So it comes here and it filters in there. So the in-between areas, there's no filtering. Only at the planting hole as such. Yes. Yeah.
In terms of the soil, you mentioned the nutrition extra better. So say you want to.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, normally we not test. We rather only because to do a test, you need to send the soil to a laboratory to do it properly, and you wait for how long for that. But if the earthworms is the indicator. If the earthworms is doing well, then you know that soil is in good condition. That is the main thing. And if you apply, you see, when you're doing your inside of your, if you've got your soil by home. So this this is your soil by home that you're working in. Then you will, for instance, put underneath, you put like more a woody logs type of thing, and then smaller twigs coming in, and then leaves. And then you put some green manure, like comfrey, and even kakibos and so forth, because kakibos is also helping to stop nematode problems. So then you put that one on, and then you come with your good organic soil, which is about 50% compost and 50% soil. And that will come then here. And just before your weed stop mat, then you've got your sheep wool that we normally put in, and I want to get a nice color for that. So your okay, there's none of this want to work. Let's go for that black one. Sorry. So this one here. So when you've got your, this is your weed stop mat here. That's your weed stop mat here. Just underneath that weed stop mat, we put wool, sheep wool. That can be any wool that you have. Very interesting that even hay has nitrogen in it. It's unbelievable. And as soon as the water is going down, it takes also your nitrogen, which is the vegetative growth. So you've got that go in, and that will also go to root zone. So this is your root zone area. So you've got your root zone area there. So this is root zone. Root zone. And you concentrate on this because you've got thermal insulation from the top and also underneath, because remember, here's some bacterial development taking place here. So you've got a slightly heating up process underneath, and there it also protects. So that also enhances your eco-life. So the whole thing is to get this a living entity. So this whole, you must see your soil by home as a living entity. And with all that macro and microfauna that are working in there, you've got then that wonderful optimum and healthy plant growth. Because if you've got your root zone in good condition, then you know that the plant can also resist lots of diseases. So most of the time it is from plant to end harvest, there is no problems with diseases, provided that your start is good. So it starts with the soil. If the soil is in good condition, healthy soil will ensure you that healthy plants and healthy people and so forth. So you can see the health message is actually starting here at root zone. Because the plant that you're going to harvest here as a medicine plant must be also free of any chemical residues. Otherwise, that herb or any health plant that you are using is also no good. So it starts actually with that. The concentration must be here. And then, okay, let's go through it. So we're saying, for instance, your nitrogen, we know that wool will be the good one here. And but now with the potassium, what do you think can be a good potassium that you can put in that living entity, which we call soil biome? So here we can go, for instance, for bone meal, and that will give you the root growth. Remember, here's the root growth area. Banana peels is also very good here. Nitrogen. The same with comfrey. So when you, for instance, put this layer of organic green here, you can put comfrey, because comfrey has also all the, it actually got a very balanced NPK value. So comfrey is good because that is your organic fertilizing factories. I see you've got lots of comfrey there. Yeah, no, that's a good one. So please take note of that. So comfrey is a very good one to use there. And the other thing is with comfrey is you can make also a comfrey tea that you can do later, more fluid fertilizers, organic fluid fertilizer. So that you can also use. You just cook water and you put comfrey in there, and that seepage, that green seepage, is very good for your organic fluid fertilizer. So yeah, so long if you go through your project and you can tick all that boxes of New Start, you can't lose. So and you have your macro elements organically done. The same with the potassium. Fire ash is just as good as any other potassium. Yes, any ash type of, yeah. So just if you're making some fire, and we've got a warm water system on the farm where we've got so many ash, and that is a wonderful fertilizer because I'm using it in all my growing mediums. So that firewood ash is going in there. And then with the necessary bone meal and also wool that you can use as your nitrogen. So if you've got that balance, it's all organic, you must be successful, yes. Correct. But it doesn't matter, that this system, you can do it anywhere. You can do it in a raised bed. You can do it anywhere. It's just that the permadome is just, it's a controlled eco-technology that you have, and it's also protecting. So no hail damage, no insect damage, no monkey damage, no porcupine damage, and all that, because most of the farmers are giving up because they not want to go organic, because it's too difficult to keep all the problem animals out. But with this system, it ensures you that your crop, your high value crop inside is protected, and you can control it. And the end produce will be always organic and of export potential. So this is the main thing, yeah.
What I also love about that, the way that you layer those things.
Yeah.
On the rock, the solid rock at the bottom, all those stones and rocks are very good.
Very good, very good. Yeah, like so for instance, your diatomaceous earth and all that, it's very good. And you can even put this system, because it's got the aeration holes is for excess water. So you can't even drown, because you've got 8 panels, and each and every panel has a drainage hole. So there can't be any problems with overwatering and so forth. Yeah. So temperance, they not over fertilize. With chemicals, you can easily over fertilize. You can burn your plants in no time. But with organic, it is never ever actually happen. So you can be sure if you use. Remember, comfrey, sheep wool is very good. I think there's sheep farmers around. I went to many farmers, and they've got bales of sheep wool there, and they not even use it, because it is not of good quality. But for fertilizers, it's wonderful. I was not sure, I was a farm child in there in the mixed farming areas, integrated farming, and I was, we was doing the sheep sharing and all that, and I was in that bale and I was trampling on that. I never thought in my life that wool can be a fertilizer. Never ever. And on my late, I was in the 60s when I discovered that this is real true, because when the people are saying to me from BKB, they're saying, listen, we've got this product, you want to test it. They say, wool, what are you talking about? And I did test it, and it was just amazing. It is unbelievable. The NPK value of wool is like 9. You 9, and then it's 1, 2. In other words, the nitrogen level is very high. But now you're sitting with the problem. If you only use sheep wool, you don't have phosphorus. So you need to add bone meal here. And there's also not potassium, so you need to put ash here. So then you've got a balanced organic fertilizer, and it works all the time. So that recipe, you can note it down and use it forever and ever. Yeah. 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 It happens. How many times? I saw a whole crop gone with wrong chemical interference. Now here, we when you're going organic, it is not necessary. We are actually captured in a chemical century since the Second World War. And we're going again into a war situation, I think. It is really a problem. So no, it is stay away from all chemicals. You can do all your fertilization with organic. With organic, yes. Yeah. Yeah, that's a very good question. Yeah, what we do is nowadays, if you can check, there is so many what they call dwarf fruit trees. Yeah, and we're doing so because it's protected. I know I tried how many times fruit trees like here also. Our birds there in who's coming there from Mafeking? I think there's a few people coming from Mafeking, Botswana. There's birds that you never saw in your life. They just destroy your whole crop, finish. But with the permadome system, it's covered. And then you just use that dwarf cherry, the dwarf fig, the dwarf peach, the dwarf grapes. All that you can use there, and you've got your fruits going very, very well. And it's protected and it's controlled. Yes. Very good question. Sorry? Yeah. Look, let us say that, okay, we are NPO, so we source funds to do projects. But if you want to buy the system, it will cost you around 3,000 rand, complete, with the irrigation, with the net. Remember that net is also a specific net that we're using. It's got like 32% shade, and it's got 36 UV protection. So, yeah, so the weed stop mat is included, your interlink side panels is included. You will see also the interlink panels has also plant holes. So you've got a living side panel wall also, because the drip, when you spray, the drip irrigation is going right next to the shade cloth into that holes. So yeah, and you know, this system is actually you need to be sure that it's level. You know, so when you prepare your area, you can either cut and fill. You can do it to any steep area, but then you need to cut it in like a terrace. But what we normally do is we're not plowing at all. We just cut straight. You know, we've got like people that has some fodder on the land, and you just cut it straight, and then you start putting your irrigation in, and then you, from that mainline irrigation, you got your microtube pipe that is going straight into, and that irrigation is also protected inside that interlink side panel. So that is also you know, no animal or a problem animal can damage your irrigation, because everything is you know, the part that is going in the irrigation system is totally protected. So this is the other one. Yeah. Look at this, you know, we're working out per permadome. So, you know, so it depends on how many permadomes you're going to put up. But with one permadome, you put nitrogen 3 kilograms for one permadome of sheep wool in this situation. But you can use comfrey as well. So 3 kilograms there. So that is kilograms because it's more in weight. And then with your bone meal, we put 500 grams, half a kilogram on top. And then the same with your potassium. But your mixture on top, we're trying to have it like 50-50 compost and soil that we mix. So that is more or less. You know, where you've got deep soil and good fertile soil, you can still do it, but you know, then you not need to build so much. Your underbuild is not so high to have more space for your dwarf cherries, your dwarf figs, and whatever you want to do. Yeah, and we're doing also mushrooms while we're talking about that. We're doing mushrooms also. We've got just another covering, and which is a type of canvas that we put on top, and it's all about the microenvironment that is then created for mushroom cultivation. Yes. Yeah. You're more than welcome. Yeah. Or yeah. No, very good question. Look, what happens here is that you not prepare any soil. You know, you leave it like God created it. If it's you know, so long it is just level, because otherwise, if it's skewed, the water will go more to the one side. But you put the system first on that specific area where you want to put, and you put it like 600 a millimeter or half a meter, so that just the wheelbarrow can go in between from one permadome to the other. So, and then you only, if you wanted to do it large scale, you can use a brush cutter to just cut the area, because you not disturb the vegetative growth, the natural vegetative growth you not disturb, because you do it with the minimum impact on the environment. If you start to go in with big tractors and turn the soil and everything, you destroy the whole ecosystem, because soil is, if you turn it around, you actually take the eco-life that is supposed to be deeper in on the top, and you disturb the mind of that whole eco biome of soil. So no cultivation at all, just leveling, and then you put your permadomes, put your irrigation pipes in, and you go, you measure exactly out everything. So before you do any cultivation, your permadomes is standing already for you. You're working inside a permadome, not outside, because outside the permadome, you will have your grazing going still the same way. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Place. Yeah. Correct. Yeah. And yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 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 Like, yeah. Nothing. And the thing is, when you start disturbing the soil, guess what? It's weeds all over the show. If you're going to do cultivation now outside, you will have weeds that you can't even sort it out. Okay. So we are done. I think our time is out. Yes. Big advantage. Big advantage. Like Jesse is telling us now, yeah. Even things like the thermal insulation, because it's higher, the frost is not coming so much. You've got deeper soil, how deeper the soil, how more can your roots penetrate. So, and the main thing is you can control your soil by putting in more. If you do normal cultivation, it's not easy to do what you are doing here. The layers. There's no layers in that. Here you can do layers. So a raised bed is a big advantage. Very much. You plant immediately. No, immediately, yeah. Yeah, no, you go with that, and you immediately, this is the other thing, is after harvesting, immediately you plant again. And there's other advantages also, because there's no trampling in mud and all that. Yeah, and you've got this area in between that you can still go and walk, and you can harvest. You can go with your umbrella and you can harvest your vegetables. And it is safe. If the children is coming from school, they can go into the garden and they can eat them good organic vegetables without problems.
When you have harvested and you're going to be plant, do you need to do all this?
Yes, definitely. You keep on adding. Nowadays, you've got a meter, you can even test if the nutrient value is still good. But yeah, after if you put legume plants, for instance, legume plants is giving, through rhizobium bacteria, is giving nitrogen to the soil. So it's sometimes even better after harvest if you put legumes. But yeah, you keep on fertilizing and organically and compost and recycling. Yeah, no, they remember earthworms. I've got a course on earthworms. What happens there is they've got cocons that they are staying dormant. As soon as they're coming into the system, the mist spray and everything, so the conditions is now earthworm friendly, and now they start to breed. So that cocons is then in the life cycle is starting then again. So in no time you see lots of earthworms. That's why this is the amazing part of it. So God created the earthworm for a certain purpose, and that is to aerate your soil. You know, I know in overseas countries you've got earthworm activists. They're walking around and say, please, they try to convince people, don't use chemicals because you're destroying the earthworms and so forth. And they go with earthworms and show them this is what earthworms are doing. So it's so important. So this is one of the things, if you are earthworm friendly, yeah, you can't go wrong at all, because they are the indicator. If they crucify them, you know, because when there's chemicals, they will die immediately. So then you know you've got problems. You either got chemicals involvement here or anything that is going wrong there. Good. Okay, it's a pleasure. And then last, yeah, you can ask.
I noticed from the picture following the form, it's mostly looked like subsistence farming. Are there cases where people have taken this technical development and commercialized it?
Yeah, there is. Now you can commercialize totally. But you've got an irrigation system that is optimized for commercial farming, totally. So you can put your 1,600 permadomes commercially, and you do your strawberries and your high-value crops. You can go commercially, definitely. And you not need tractors, you know, because you concentrate, you know, the earthworms are doing the cultivation now here for you. So that money that $1.5 million that you spend on a tractor is not needed. So you rather spend it on this eco-technology, and you will be ensured that you will have good export potential organically. Thank you so much, and thank you for attending the course. I've got all your information now, and yeah, let's be friends. I'm always there, and let's go for it. Let's survive.